Hello Earthlings, how is it going? Today I would like to talk about several books that I finished in January and February 2024. The first one I want to talk about is Night Shift by Stephen King. I know it's not sci-fi, but I want to mention it because it's great. All these stories were interesting. Some of the stories were difficult to understand from EFL point of view. For example, the first story, Jerusalem's Lot, that was a bit hard to get for me because it was written in the style of the 19th century. But the rest of them were fine and easy to understand, especially because I saw many adaptations that were done after these stories. So, high recommendations. From EFL point of view, this book is for intermediate and advanced English speakers / readers. The next book I would like to talk about is Ancillary Justice by Ann Leckie. I have an interesting opinion about this one because I kind of liked it, but at the same time I didn't. So my feeling is pretty much ambivalent. I don't really understand why is it a sweetheart of all the nominations, Hugo Awards, Nebula Awards. This is the first book by this author, and it was very hard for me to like it, actually. I kind of liked it when I was reading it, but in the middle of the book, I got the idea that it's not going anywhere. The story lacks details, which make sci-fi to be sci-fi. This is a very obscure story with a rather weak ending. I know it's not the ending of the story because there are 2 more books after this one, but anyways, if I choose not to read the second and third, the ending is really weak. This book just did not sink in for me. It didn't work for me at all. I know that many people like this book. I don't know why, but I didn't. From EFL point of view, this book is for people with English of intermediate level and higher. Ancillary Justice, so-so. The third book I would like to talk about today is The Minority Report and Other Classic Stories by Philip K. Dick. This book was great, however, some stories were a little bit weak, and it felt like Philip K. Dick was just trying to earn a buck by finishing a certain amount of pages that were promised to the publisher. However, some stories were absolutely amazing, especially the first 3. It felt like these stories are underpinned with very strong moral points. And it also reminded me of Love, Death and Robots TV show, because each story is very different from the other, and they are just highly entertaining. But again, half of the stories in this selection were a little bit boring and weak. Worth reading though, okay? From the EFL point of view, I would say that intermediate and higher level of English speakers / readers would be very comfortable reading this one. The next book I would like to talk about is Ubik by Philip K. Dick. Alright, so this is another gem by PKD. It's trippy, fallacious, highly entertaining phantasmagoria with ending that makes you feel baffled. However, it was really cool to read this book. I read this one when I was on vacation in Cambodia on Koh Rong Island, and that atmosphere of being in the middle of nowhere, being in a dreamy, pensive kind of mood every day made me really sink into the atmosphere, into the story of this book, and I absolutely loved it. The ending is open-ended, so you don't know how it really ends, and the writer Philip K. Dick allows you to decide for yourself how it ends. My high recommendations for those who like Philip K. Dick and for those who like intellectual sci-fi. From EFL point of view, I would say that this book is for advanced readers because Philip K. Dick's vocabulary is rather rich. He uses all kinds of words, all kinds of descriptive adjectives that are rare. I never see that many words I don't know in other books. He's got amazing language, so my high praises to Ubik by Philip K. Dick. Yeah! The next book I would like to talk about is Redshirts by John Scalzi. Hugo Award-winning novel, New York Times best-selling author. Okay, so let's get to it, right? So the fact that my taste in sci-fi lies within such authors as Werner Vinge, Dan Simmons, Herbert, Philip K. Dick, Asimov, this book just does not get to the same level, so to speak, all right? It looks like half-assed job. I'm sorry, John Scalzi, but this book is just it's like you were writing it for the sake of, I don't know, maybe you wanted to earn some money with a new novel or something. But I really didn't like it. It's really shallow. The ideas are too simple, or maybe too difficult that I just didn't understand. The language that was used in this book was also quite boring. I only had to check the dictionary for 2 words in the whole book. For me, as a non-native English speaker, for me this was just too easy. It was like a child's play. It was not interesting to read a book with such poor vocabulary. Weak idea, poorly executed. From EFL point of view, this book can be read by beginners. Beginners would feel rather comfortable reading this one because it's so easy. Don't really recommend reading it if you haven't read it. If you like John Scalzi, maybe yeah, you should, but if you don't know John Scalzi much, if you haven't read many of his books, I think this one is just it's not worth your time. Another one is great, which is The Old Man's War. That one was great, but not this one, sorry. The final book I want to talk about in this video is Dreamsnake by Vonda N. McIntyre. The way she describes her heroine's adventures is so subtle, intricate, and it makes your head spin with the aesthetics of the language that McIntyre uses in this book. I have to say, I haven't read anything that deep and pensive and wistful. I haven't felt this way in quite a while as well. This book reminded me of paying attention to the world around myself, as the world is gorgeous and full of mystery. Imagine being on an alien planet, which I am, where everything is interesting. When you read this book, you feel like you are in McIntyre's dream, and that dream is very deep, and you don't want to leave that dream. You want to see how it ends. The highest praise. I think if we look at all these books, this one would be the most beautifully written. From EFL point of view, I would say that advanced readers would enjoy it. It's a bit difficult for intermediate speakers / readers, but you can challenge yourself, of course. Just take a dictionary and you will be getting into your dictionary every other sentence or so. I learned a lot of new words reading this book, a lot of descriptive adjectives. This is my favorite in the past 2 months. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked my reviews from EFL point of view, and I'll see you next time.